What's up, everybody? I'm Rex.
And I'm Zach with Uncured.
And you're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Glad to be here.
Excellent. I'm Bruce. That's my partner, Rena.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm Rex.
And I'm Zach. We're with Uncured, and we're stoked to do this.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I love the enthusiasm. That's great.
Thank
Are you also twins?
I am 2 years older, actually.
That's crazy. You look identical.
It's the lighting, it's the setup, it's all that. So I'm looking at us right now, and we don't look this similar in person. There must be like a filter in this program too.
I think there is a
filter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, cool. Welcome. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course.
Rena, you want to jump in first, or you want me to go?
Yeah. How are you guys? How's your day been?
Doing very well. Yeah, we just finished up a rehearsal last night, and got some other work done this morning. But yeah, how's everything going, you guys?
Doing all right.
Awesome.
I'm here in Finland, so we are.
Wow.
I thought you were out in space.
Yeah.
True. I am a
orbit?
cosmic girl. We all are in space when you think about it. You know,
Yes,
we're
yes.
all a cosmic
That's
nation.
deep.
Are you guys both in Finland?
No, I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So not too far. You guys are like in Jersey, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Where did we play in Richmond?
I'm not sure if we've been in Richmond specifically.
Oh, I thought we hadn't been.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
All right.
Well, anyway.
Well, either way, you guys are getting ready for a pretty big tour, right?
That's right. Yeah, we have tour dates with Filter announced, as well as Welcome to Rockville Festival and Incarceration. And we're still adding more U.S. dates as we speak. Hopefully we could get those announced in the next few weeks.
So things are looking busy for the spring and summer here.
That's right. That's the goal, yes.
That's great. How do you prepare for something like that?
Sorry?
How do you prepare for something like that?
So we've played a bunch of shows in the last few years. So we have a new set list for this upcoming tour. So we've been rehearsing with the bass and drums. What are you laughing at?
Bassist and drummer. I just thought it was funny how you said the bass and drums.
We've been rehearsing with the full band together.
There you go. That sounds
a few times.
There you go.
And weeks in advance, just put in a few days here and there, because you practice all together, then you practice on your own, and when you come back together, it just improves so much. So we just get all that rehearsals in way in advance, and then when it's time for the shows, we are 100% ready.
Awesome. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rena. Go ahead.
No worries. No, it's about the touring stuff. Looks like you've already done a whole bunch of cool gigs around the world. So, which countries have you been at already?
So our favorite tour was when we went to South America with Lacuna Coil, because that was just unmatched. The intensity from the fans was spectacular. Mm-hmm. But that being said, we had awesome shows out in Germany, Czech Republic.
We've been to
I'm blanking. Holland.
Yeah, we played about 12 shows in Europe, most of which were in Germany, but as Rex said, Czech Republic, Belgium.
UK. Yeah, Belgium
UK,
was nice.
Yeah.
UK.
Nice.
And not to mention, we've played US and Canada a bunch as well.
Yeah, that's our main touring market, obviously, just based on our positioning.
I've heard the Latin American fans are pretty insane, right?
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it intimidating to play in front of crowds like that?
Oh,
no, it's
definitely
quite the
not.
opposite.
Yeah.
It's intimidating to walk out and see 2 or 3 people there. That's intimidating because it's just the floor and the performance. But if you walk out in front of 3,000 people, there's no nerves about that whatsoever. It just feels awesome.
So wait, so you're more nervous in front of 3 than 3,000?
Nervous isn't quite the right word.
It's not
but
the word.
there's this higher level of like self-awareness that could turn into like a bad level of hypercriticism of your performance, right?
Gotcha.
Whereas if there's, like I said, 3,000 people in Sao Paulo going, woo, it's a lot easier to just be like, yeah, this is great.
I mean, not to mention every band, in our position has had those shows of like, 10 people, arms folded, that never heard of you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not that you're not nervous. It's just like, we love playing shows, but an experience like that is definitely less fun.
Right.
I think it's hard to debate that.
Yeah.
But still, at the end of the day, though, right? I mean, those people paid their money to see you, so you guys have to play at that high level no matter what, right?
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's sort of what I was getting at with like the higher level of like self-awareness, because we do understand that and we respect that a lot. So those 10 people this is still their impression of Uncured. So like we got to go out there, we got to give it everything that we possibly can. And so it's like a level of, we want to respect our organization, but we also want to respect the people that are supporting us, obviously.
Right.
So
No, that makes sense. So what's been the reception to Let's Break Out so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic. Yeah, we've had we're at the moment we've been adding in more singing, more clean vocals to be more it's like the music we like to listen to, and it's the music we like to make. And when you do that, people could tell, and they've been enjoying like the catchiness of it. And that's what we were really going for with this one. We have more variety and heaviness on other songs on our upcoming EP. But so far, Let's Break Out has been very popular with our fan base.
Okay, cool. And I saw that My Design, that's the EP you just mentioned. That's out in June, right, on Pavement?
That is the current plan for release. I'm not sure if the date is hard stuck for June. I think there's been talks of other dates.
Yeah, but, it was already moved from June 2nd to June 9th. So I wouldn't be surprised if that got smidged a little bit more.
Right. Rena?
Tell us like a anecdote from one of those intimidating gigs. When was the last time you played for like a handful of people? What was
I mean, not quite intimidating, but I know what you're talking about. So, so there was one show that was added on late to a tour, and this was kind of past, the
what show are you talking
return
about?
of South Carolina with the COVID cards.
Oh yeah.
This was kind of past
King tour.
Yeah, well, this is past kind of like the main COVID, just like everything. But there was this one show that was carding people for vaccines. So like it wasn't that well promoted and all that kind of stuff to begin with, and then they were turning people away if they couldn't provide proof of vaccination. So I've never actually seen people like be turned away at a venue like that before, but I got to see it that time. And that one specifically jumps to my mind because it was like there could have been so many more people there, but like people didn't know, people didn't have the cards, didn't have access, like all that kind of statistics just plagued that show overall. So that's the one that comes to mind. But every like we said before, every show is still something to be grateful for. So go out there and do what we do regardless.
Do you guys all write together, or is it more the efforts of one particular member of the band?
Yeah, it's so not quite all together. I feel like
you do most of the writing.
Yeah, so I do most of the writing, and then Zach is my my primary constituent.
That's right.
But yeah, I do find that if you have too many people in a room, it's not like it just adds more creativity. It just kind of makes it a lot harder to focus in on specific things. And then that being said, like we'll run comments through a bunch of different other people and sources, and make sure that everything is as good as it can be. And one of our, I guess, strengths when it comes to recording is that we just have like a very high level of like perfection in mind for how we want the performances to be. So when it comes to like singing, for example, even if a part is damn well good enough, if I hear like a slight imperfection, I'll just keep redoing it and redoing it and redoing it, which does have its pros and cons. So for like the singles that are currently on our Spotify, that was something that I did a lot. And I am starting to find that, having some like slight, I don't want to say imperfections in the vocals, but like more characteristic kind of sounds is pretty helpful. So yeah, we're just kind of continuing to learn and grow and build in all aspects of our business.
That's right.
Nice. When you're writing, are you writing the songs for the song's sake, or are you writing the song like how it's going to come across in a live setting?
Well, so we've done many variations of that. Like, we've written songs that we think this song is just like well written compositionally, artistically. And then there's also times where we write songs like, this is going to be the first song in our live set.
Yeah.
Let's make it hit that way. Let's make it epic. So we do write both ways. It adds variety. And but like, we do have a focus on writing songs for live, because that's where
more so in the newer coming stuff.
Yeah. And that's where like all of that's like our favorite thing, the live shows. So that's what we put the most behind.
And I think that occasionally we'll have a song that the live application doesn't even cross our minds. So like, the track listing is available, so we'll just say the name of the song. Another Angel Dies, I think, is the best song on the EP. I think it's, it's our masterpiece, if you will.
Right.
It feels odd to call it that, but that is how we view it, because we just think it's our best work. And we tried to play that one live, not like at a show yet. We just rehearsed it and stuff, and it didn't quite translate the way that some of the other songs did. And I mean, it's because that one has like a grand piano and all that kind of stuff. But like, obviously we weren't thinking like, oh, we'll just put a grand piano into our van and
right. Right.
So I mean, in the future, I think with the right production, all that kind of stuff, it would be spectacular. But for where we are right now, obviously, that song, for example, we're just not going to be playing.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rita?
What would you say is the worst part of this whole band thing? Like, what is the stuff that you don't want to do but you have to do?
Oh, that's an easy one. It's we live in New Jersey. It's when a tour starts in California. We drive, 48 hours across the country.
More than that? Are you kidding me?
I mean, it takes longer than that, but if you didn't stop, it's like 48 hours. I mean, because at that point, you're tired of watching movies. You're tired of your phone. You just want to
tired of driving.
Yeah,
right.
You're tired. You're not hungry. You're tired of eating.
Yeah.
And there's no shows in between.
Right. Yeah, a day or two into that.
You're like, do I remember how to play that solo? I don't know.
Yeah, a day or two into that, you kind of because you're in one exact spot the whole time, but like stimulus just starts to not mean anything, so you just kind of sit there for the next 24 hours and do nothing at all.
You're not hungry, but all you're excited for is hoping there's like a good McDonald's at the next stop, even though you're not hungry. So that's definitely. I mean, in our few years, we've had to do that cross-country drive many times. Not to mention when tours end out west, too,
I think
we
that's
still have to drive back.
That's worse, because at least going out there's the anticipation, right? And you don't quite feel it in the drive over when it's that long. But there is the anticipation, because that like you have all the shows to come. It's the worst when it ends in California, and then it's just like, okay, I guess we go home now.
Yeah.
Right. So,
How
go ahead.
about social media? Are you guys handling your own? Is that like a...
Oh yeah, so we've always been doing our own social media, and but we've been trying to really step it up recently. Like, we have tons of reels on Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube Shorts. We are, I would say, quite active on there. We post a lot of like performances from. We do videos in the studio here. We post live stuff. We post like a lot of band photos, things like that. And because social media is so important for a band these days, following us on Instagram and Facebook helps a ton, as well as Spotify. And it's a way you can support a band for free, and it helps a ton.
And being the guy that has to do it, though, that's a full-time job in itself, right? On top of making the music and playing the shows, it's almost a full-time job keeping up with all that social media.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sometimes, we do multiple posts a week, but we've been we've been very consistent on it recently. So like at some point you don't want to just keep reposting the same stuff. So you do want to slow it down, let people digest the old stuff, but it's hard. Like, we try to reply to all the messages, but it's easy to get like, a little bit behind on that, but it's definitely a full-time job when when we're trying to rehearse and do all the other things.
Is there something you want your fans to take away from after listening to an Uncured record or EP? A message?
For this upcoming one, I want everybody to know that
Do you need a...
I think that this upcoming record has a very nice variety to it. And one thing that Uncured has been criticized for in the past is having like too much variety to the point where it's unclear what we're trying to do. So I think that this EP kind of lays out the general framework for what Uncured sound is, and the next record after that is going to, which we're working on now. We've already made 13 demos for it, and have already 13 demos and already thrown out like 10 songs apart from that. So like we're already at like 23 songs written for the next album, and we're just gonna keep cutting down and refining because for the next one we're really determined like we're gonna establish ourselves with a specific sound, specific image, like everything. So this last EP, the message is this is like a flight of beers, right? So like you have a little bit of variety between all of them. Everyone is good. Well, I think everyone is different and unique.
They have a different content.
Different content, boom.
Different blend.
But it's all still beers, and everybody likes beers. So
right. I would also say we want, like we did do, I would say we have our catchiest choruses on these. I want people to leave the album like singing some of the choruses and wanting to go back to it. Not to mention coming to see us live and like, I want to hear that riff live. I want to hear that chorus live. I want to hear if he screws up that solo live.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a much better answer than mine. Let's just edit it out.
Yeah, we just want people.
To,
we need the songs to speak to people to get to the point where it's like, I'm going to see this band live because I love it.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, how do you feel about that whole like? No, you need to be more condensed and more like cohesive, blah blah blah. I think that's sorry, I slipped a little finish in there, but to me that's really annoying. To get that sort of feedback and to get that sort of no, you need to have your brand on spot. You need to be like instantly recognizable. I guess that's one way to do it, but are you like now consciously limiting yourself because of feedback like that?
So I have thought about that a fair amount, and I used to think that was an annoying comment to get, but now I wholeheartedly agree with it. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Well, I won't give any specific examples, but there are some bands that started off one certain way, and then over time they've slowly morphed their sound, and they want to do other things, and they change their sound. So if I am a fan of the band from when they started, and then they're changing their sound substantially, I'm not generally going to be listening to their new music if I want to hear that type of music, because in my head I associate that band with what they used to do.
Right.
So I actually think that it's crucial for a band to define what they do and then stick to it. So like while we write music for the passion for it and the love for it and all that kind of stuff, at the same time in business you got to find what works and then do it again. So I think that if anything, it's just helpful to hear other people say that, because I know that's what we need to do, and I actually am very excited to do that. Like very excited to get to a point where people can instantly recognize us, recognize what we do, hear an Uncured song and know like that's Uncured instantly, right?
Right.
The same way you hear Rammstein and everyone, no matter what, it's just like Rammstein. You hear Slipknot, it's just instant. Like all the top bands have that.
Right. But with all that being said, we do still have like if on our last 8 singles we did, there's like an acoustic song called "The Sky Is Falling" that's very different from the other ones. We still do plan on having like acoustic songs or unique songs or songs that are different in a way, because we still like having songs that sound completely different from the rest. And if you release one acoustic song, people aren't going to be like, yo, are you an acoustic band now?
Yeah.
But like an acoustic song in the context of a whole record, it just like is like an ear cleanse.
Yeah, and that's something I totally agree with, because on an EP, we have 6 songs on the digital release and 7 songs on the physical release. And between 6 and 7 songs, if you have 1 or 2 outliers, that's a pretty high percentage of the record of the EP. But if you have a full record with 12 songs, and we have 4 songs that are a bit more experimental, I think that just kind of makes perfect sense in my head, because the bulk of the record is like driving, hard hitting, and establishing what you're trying to do. And then you have 4 entire other songs to experiment, which is basically an experimental EP that you're just jamming into a record.
Right.
But then you have the fun of getting to do songs that give you a break from the other ones, or are like a nice segue, or even, for example, one of the newest new demos, I just wanted a really low singing part, because naturally I have a pretty low voice, so I fooled around with that for a bit and came up with something I really liked, and I didn't know if anybody else would like it, so I sent out the demo to Zach and I sent out the demo, and everybody was really happy with that, for example. So it's just like you get to pick up these little pieces of information along the way, when you do have the lead to still write your experimental songs.
Yeah, definitely.
So I get what you're saying about staying in your sort of wheelhouse, but there's a fine line of not wanting to rewrite the last record too, right? While still staying within your,
sure.
I think that no 2 Uncured songs sound even like that reminiscent of each other. There's a couple of like rhythms and sweeps that we'll steal from ourselves, but that's fine.
That's called style.
That's called style. Right. But I also think that there is so much music that has yet to be written that you just got to keep pushing yourself to not write the same song. And if you have that, if you just flip your way of thinking about it, it becomes much easier, because a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't want to write the song I already did.
Right.
So they're thinking in this very narrow, it's very narrow space, where if you think like, this is what we've done already, and everything else, already exists, or it doesn't exist yet, but it's out in the ether. You just gotta, make it.
And we've released, I would say, over 20 songs at this point, some of which we've archived, off Spotify, because we did it really young. But that aside, I feel like even though we've done so many songs, we've never been even close to writing the same song twice. Yeah. It's just I feel like that just comes naturally to us, and we've never had anything that's that's the same song as this. Mm-hmm. Maybe once there's a similar riff, but
maybe once there's a similar solo.
But I would say never in any danger of writing the same song twice. Yeah, I will say tons of bands out there these days write the same album each time.
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't think has ever been a danger for us.
Okay. Yeah, actually, there is something funny that I saw a video of the other day where there's a guy that I just, was just we follow each other on TikTok, and I found him on Instagram, and he was posting all these videos that was metal bands don't all say the same thing. But then he took clips from 20 or 30 different metal bands where they're all just saying the exact same specific lyrics and stuff.
Something about 6 feet deep.
Yeah, or Drag the Lake. And he's like, did you know that if you were to drag a lake, it would be however many pounds? And it was just 40 different bands singing about dragging the lake. So it is funny, because there's so much that exists, but a lot of times it's easy to go to those same traditional conventions. Right. And we do it too. Yeah, we do it too sometimes. It's just that's just how things work. But we definitely do really challenge ourselves to try to be unique and do things that haven't been done before.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Rena?
That was very, very cohesive, and what's the word? I can't remember. I'm Finnish. Sometimes I lose my English. But anyway, you go ahead, Bruce.
Are we ready to play a game?
Hell yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show you a picture here in a second. I need you to tell me what's going on in the picture, and if it was a movie, what would be the next frame?
Well, I have a question first.
Yeah.
Can audience, are we live, by the way?
We're not live, no.
Okay. Can the audience see this?
They will see the picture, yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right.
But also, some of them can't. Those that watch this on YouTube will see it, but we are also obviously on all the
Right.
audio only platforms. So please describe the picture.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe we should describe it in great detail.
It'll also be on TikTok and all those others as a short. So yeah, they'll be able to see it there. I will tell you it's fucked up, but just stay with me for a minute. It'll be worth it. All right, let me just figure out how to share it real quick. And share screen. All right, you should see that now.
It's still coming.
And there it is.
Oh, sorry, delay. What's going on in that picture?
All right,
Okay.
so there's a looks like a Google Chrome tab pulled open.
Yes. And at the top of it, it says WTF.
There's 6 tabs open. There's a search bar.
Nice.
Okay, so in what I'm assuming you're asking us to describe is the primary photo here.
Right, the picture.
So we have a tennis ball for a sun in the top left.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Let's
Wow.
just trade off on things we see. There's a tennis ball for a sun in the top left.
The clouds are very strange. They're very geometric, very circular.
The clouds look like they're moons.
Right, sailboat in the distance.
This is clearly a recreation of that sunscreen commercial where the dog is biting the. I'm not sure what's happening in that commercial, but you know what I'm talking about.
No, the guy has very bad sunburn on his shoulders.
But nowhere else.
Clearly lost at sea.
Well, not that clearly. Yeah, he's thinking about hot dog. Dog's thinking about being home. And I'm confused as to why the board looks like that.
The board? What board?
The board.
It's a raft.
But it's made out of boards.
Yeah, it's like just a raft. I don't think that's the focus of the photo.
Why is he not waving for help?
Because he's holding his business. He doesn't want to get
He's
sunburned.
modest and doesn't want safety?
No, he doesn't want. He doesn't want more sunburn. But look, at the same time, though, I think they're definitely going to see a naked dude and a dog on that raft, whether he's waving or not. They're driving right at it.
It does look like they're going right at him.
Yeah, they're going right at him.
I don't know. That dog does look sort of mean, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, maybe the dog is kind of the reason he's in this position. You think about that.
I mean, that. I wouldn't go as far to say that, but
I
look like it could be sort of vicious. You know?
I bet this was tied up at a dock, right? Hear me out. The dog
nonsense.
chewed through the rope. They're immediately just teleported into the middle of the ocean for probably 3 or 4 or 5 days, judging by that sunburn.
Well, if they're then at that point, why wouldn't he just swim back to the shore right away?
No, because they were teleported.
Right.
Okay.
To the middle of the ocean.
Missed
Right.
that
Not
part.
swimmable. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, because he can't swim.
Come on, man, follow along.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, teleporting that's too foolish. Dog just through the rope. He can't swim. He thinks it's funny at first. He's like, oh, haha, whatever. We'll just go back to shore. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, shore is 30 feet away. Now it's 40 feet away. Oh, wait, I can swim. Now it's 60. Now it's 100. Now it's 200. See? And then, before you know it, out on sea for 4 or 5 days.
Okay, and that's the sunburn. I get it. I'm with
That's
it.
And
Now,
I love how specific that was. You must have some sort of deep sunburn knowledge.
well, you can see multiple levels of discoloration on
Oh
the
yeah,
skin
there's definitely
on the
some
left shoulder.
there's definitely some heavy burns.
So that looks like a hemoglobin burn.
You have this music career, but also your plan B as dermatologist.
I'll confess, I made it up. I just made up that word.
That's a real word. but
You impressed me for sure.
I didn't make up the word, but I made it up in this
hemoglobin's
context.
like in your blood or whatever.
It's like in the
doesn't
it's
have
not this.
much to do with
It's not
sunburn.
this.
But
So-
we didn't really talk about what they're thinking about. If the dog's thinking about home, is this what the dog's thinking about, and he just wants a hot dog?
Or maybe they just have a cloud that looks like hot dog and a cloud that looks like the dog.
Oh yeah, because that's right.
Well, look, I mean, these clouds are very impractical looking regardless.
Right.
We just talked about him being teleported. It's possible there's a hot dog cloud, right? I mean, none of this.
I mean, there is a tennis ball sun, so
Exactly.
Yep, I agree.
I need to go back to the viciousness of that dog because I gotta say though that poodle isn't giving me any vicious vibes. So you
Really?
have to
Look at his eyebrows. They're pointed down. His
Yeah, look,
nose
he's doing
looks
this.
snug.
And he's obviously protecting his junk from something.
From the dog.
Thank you. The dog.
Yeah,
the
the
dog
dog
is
is-
hungry. Come on.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't. Has it been like the Life of Pi kind of standoff between the man and the dog throughout
Well, I mean,
that 4 to 5
I did
days
think
or
of Life of
something?
Pi.
I mean, if I was in that situation, it's not a tiger on the boat with me. That dog looks pretty tiny, even if it's a little vicious.
Zach,
If
don't
he
say
starts,
don't say you're gonna eat a dog on the
no,
interview.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna toss that dog overboard.
Whoa! No, you can't say that. Back
Right,
up.
no,
back up.
no,
Rex,
before
look at
it
that
bites
face.
you,
no,
go.
dude,
Rex.
no, you can't say that.
Rex, I don't take it back.
Have you-
look at that face?
Have you seen the It's Always Sunny? Have you guys seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Rex,
Yeah. Well, no, it's important. They have Wolf Cola, a public relations nightmare, and basically they get into business with terrorists. They do all these terrible things, but people keep forgetting them until Dennis says he doesn't like dogs, and then the company is over. And you just said you throw a dog overboard.
No, I'm saying if that dog's looking like he's ready to try to take some bites, and I'd say it's not a tiger. If he's getting vicious on the raft, he's overboard.
Yeah, before he bites your junk.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're
The
not
dog
going to
or
like
my junk. Right.
You're not going to eat a raw dog. That'd be disgusting. I'd rather toss it over.
I would be more inclined to. Oh, pause. I would be more inclined.
Go.
Yeah. Look. It depends how long they're out there, right? Because if I were to die on the raft, I know the dog would eat me. So like, that's how Mother Nature would intend it. So if things were to happen to the dog, I think the inverse would also be acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then why would you throw it overboard?
Well, I mean, I don't think after like 5 days of starvation, I think eating like a raw dog, like a raw dog that you have to like, tear apart, wouldn't like quite save you, and you're still gonna die.
Wait, okay. I'd like to back up for a second. You've done this multiple times, you said, with this image?
Yeah. Oh, we do it all the time.
Has anybody gotten to eating the dog like immediately?
No, we just did it earlier with somebody, and they said the dog house was actually made from the dude's skin after he murdered him.
After
The dude's skin.
after
So
he
yeah.
murdered the dog?
Make a house out of the remains. The
Yeah, he
dog
made a house out of the
built
remains.
house when the guy died. So yeah, things get kind of wild. But I gotta say though, this eating the dog thing, it just reminded me of remember those asshole Jesus memes? There was the one, yeah, just Google it, asshole Jesus. Just
Okay.
these perfect, like, old drawings where, like, Jesus is doing shit, like, but then there's captions that it kind of turns it around. One of them is, like, there's Jesus in this log cabin with a man and a dog, and Jesus is there, like, dude, let's eat the dog. And the guy's like, oh, Jesus, we have plenty of food. So there is the option of fishing, I guess. So I don't know how. Maybe with your junk, or I don't know, like that could.
Whoa!
I don't
Whoa, that's
see,
not how it works.
I mean,
I don't
think
have
you
the
have
junk,
much-
so I don't know what to do.
if you just reaching your hand in the water, I don't think you're going to catch a fish, really. I mean,
Well-
I think we could all agree it's looking pretty bleak for the guy. If the dog starts trying to bite him and mess with him, it's a tiny dog. He's going overboard. That's it. I mean, I think we would all agree
I just
on
feel like
that.
you should stop saying that because it's a bad look.
I'm just saying.
Your band is so done. You have now.
'Cause, like, why- I don't know why you
I'm
keep
just saying,
doubling down on it.
you're this guy, and this dog is gonna bite you wherever it wants. Are you gonna let it bite you, or throw it overboard? Look at that face.
Overboard, ripping it apart and eating it raw. So
But- but
isn't
there another option?
Well, they could try to make it like 5 more minutes for that boat to see.
Listen.
them.
I just think that you're not taking into account the psychology of the dog, Zach. Let's go through it.
Look at that face.
Because let's say they're a full day there, right?
I don't mean dog. It's just they're like, dude, all I want is some loving. Like,
I agree with Zach on this. He does look absolutely devious.
Like Charles,
You
like
people
the
just don't
eyebrows
know.
are
Yeah.
straight down.
Yeah, it's that is an evil dog.
His
for
like
sure.
paws up strike.
look at it. It's not a Doberman. It's not like it's a tiny poodle. It's like a King
It's a
Charles
poodle.
Spaniel.
Oh, well, hold on.
Yeah, it's tiny but vicious.
Don't let its innocent looks deceive you. That is a vicious dog.
It's tiny, and I'm saying So I'll just say it's tiny but vicious. And if it's getting vicious and screwing with you and
Gotta
don't
go.
leave you
Say it
alone,
again. Stop.
there's an easy option.
No, but listen. Here's what would happen with the dog. You would go out. The dog would be fine, right? And then like dog starts getting a little hungry. Dog starts getting a little tired. Before you know it, he's out in the sun too long. He's just laying there like the rest of the time.
He's looking a lot healthier than the guy.
Yeah, because they're excited to see the ship.
Yeah,
No.
just like, don't I get medals for the, like, you know, celebrating the ship that's coming? No, they're like, no, I'm throwing you overboard or ripping you
But
apart.
I think that there's also a much more humane option in all of this, right? Instead of just back up. Why are the two options the dog eats your junk or you throw the dog overboard? There has to be another option.
Yeah, it's wait for the ship.
Right. No, we're missing the obvious. The ship is coming to them.
No. The ship is a mirage. That's not part of this. The ship is a mirage. I think the best option here is you just let the dog drink a lot of seawater, right? And that way, the dog will just kind of be tired and confused and like slow.
What if the dog
But-
doesn't want to drink seawater?
It will. Because the dog doesn't know that seawater is going to dehydrate
But it would taste it and be like, "Ooh, I don't like this."
It's like, it's not educated. It's a dog.
Smack about dogs.
You're the one that's killing them.
No, but it could just doggy paddle back to shore.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt, but we're down to 3 minutes on the Zoom 40-minute marker. So
Oh, jeez. Okay.
let's bring it back to Uncured for a minute.
Oh, right. Yes.
Because that's why we were here, right?
Redeem yourself, you dog-hating
Let's pull up another image.
Yeah, let's do one more.
And Uncured is now going to be canceled because of all the dog hating.
No, let's just clarify here. There is no dog hating. This was purely a question of survival, and like, you know,
Right, you're
yeah, it's just a question of survival. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are so taking this out of context and like, posting a short that just says like Uncured wants to eat dogs. That's all they do day in, day out on tour.
That's right.
Barbecue.
It's a long trip to California from Jersey. There's a lot of dog eating going on.
In a very human way.
Get one from every state, right?
Anyway, so what's next for you guys? You just getting ready for this tour?
I got this tour coming up and 2 festivals. So, Welcome to Rockville and Incarceration.
And if fans want to find you online, you pretty
Uncured Band on Instagram and Uncured on Facebook is the best place.
awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for playing along. That was great.
Of course.
All right.
That
Thank
was
you
one
guys
of the
very
better
much.
ones for sure.
Yes. There we go.
All right.
Awesome. You guys, good luck with the tour. We'll see you soon.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.